Hey guys, this is going to be a video about how Sacred Soil works and more importantly when to use it. After watching many videos and hearing other people's thoughts, I've determined that Sacred Soil is pretty much used incorrectly like 90% of the time. So first let's look at what it does. It creates a designated area in which party members will only suffer 90% of all damage inflicted. This is basically a fancy way of saying anybody in it will take 10% less damage. So now we need to understand what it means we cannot do. So it costs Aether Flow, which we get 3 charges of every minute. The 3 abilities we can use it on are Sacred Soil, Lustrate, and Energy Drain. Now Energy Drain basically restores 300 mana. That's the main use of it. Lustrate, on the other hand, will restore 20% of the target's maximum HP. It's generally used on tanks, and since most tanks are paladins, we're looking at about 1 to 1.2k health from that. So the next ability we need to look at is this, our AoE heal, which will heal for about, on the average geared scholar, which it'll heal for about 300 and then bubble for 300 as well. If it crits, we're looking at about 450 healing and a 450 bubble, so 900, I guess you could say, healing and mitigation total. So the fight I want to focus on to use as an example is Titan hard mode, because this is the first fight in which a lot of AoE damage is done. So this is what we're looking at. Titan has 2 main AoE damaging abilities. We have Smash, which deals about 2.8k damage once to everyone in the raid. Then we have Stomp, which is about 700 damage towards the end of the fight, 5 times over the course of about 5 seconds. So it's a rapid AoE damage over the course of about 5 seconds. Now Sacred Soil obviously reduces the damage taken by 10%, and our AoE heal heals for 300, so this can top the group off because, you know, if you're using it preemptively, which you have to be if you're going for the shields, the heal's not going to do much unless it's topping the group off. So I guess you could say we could kind of ignore the heal, but this is assuming it's a non-crit. If it crits, we get a 450 bubble. So Sacred Soil, the hypothetical mana cost is around 300. The reason for this is the consumed Aether Flow charge that's used for Sacred Soil could be used to restore 300 mana using Energy Drain. And the mana cost of our AoE heal is 400. So the heal and damage reduced per point of mana of Sacred Soil on Smash is 0.93 health per mana, because it's going to reduce the damage taken by 280 on everyone in the group. And on Stomp, we're looking at about 350 damage reduction, 10% of 3.5k, so it's about 1.16 HP per mana point. The heal damage reduced per point of mana of our AoE heal is 2.14, not counting crits at all. Keep in mind that Sacred Soil has no crit at all, but you know, we can get up to 750 heal and damage reduced per point using our AoE heal if it crits. Now, our AoE heal puts out the bubble for the same amount of damage absorption, averaging these 2 abilities of Sacred Soil. Because if you average the 2.8k and 3.5k, you're looking somewhere around 3k. And our AoE heal will bubble for about 300, which, averaging the 3k, is the same amount of damage reduction that is provided by Sacred Soil. For Smash, SS should never be used, as it's a 1 burst hit. It's going to be 2.8k damage. Nobody's going to die ever, unless you are weakness debuffed from being rezzed, but that should never happen. So nobody's ever going to die from Smash, so you don't need to mitigate any of that damage. If anything, save the Aether Flow for Lustrate, so then you can top the tank off, because he's the only one that's going to be taking damage immediately after the Smash. With the Stomp, however, Sacred Soil is more mana efficient to use, but the problem is that because there are a lot of mechanics going on in this fight, especially towards the end, it's kind of hard to stack, and generally groups do not force Stomp, which means that not everybody's going to be in your Sacred Soil, and then it's not going to be as useful as using an AoE heal, because at this point the platform's so small that your AoE heal will affect everybody. So that's basically it. This is the long thought process of why not to use Sacred Shield on Titan hard mode. Basically all you really need to remember are these numbers right here. You need to know how much damage is being done by the AoE you're considering using Sacred Shield on, and then figure out if it's more mana efficient to use your AoE heal or not. Really, the only thing I can think of in which you would need to use Sacred Soil right now is at the very end of turn 4. When your group is taking massive AoE damage, and it's going to be for the entire 15 seconds that Sacred Soil's up. It's not going to be 5 seconds. It's not going to be the 1 second of a smash, or, it's going to be a full 15 seconds, so you're going to utilize it very much, and the heal per mana is going to be a lot higher than your AoE heal. But for right now, most fights, Sacred Soil is just not that good, and you should be using the AoE heal over it almost all the time.